not the field, court or ice. You are on the couch. From DG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall, delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from a hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am. Through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your weekly DMV sports update, and I am your host, CWall. Always ready and always got all of the updates and the highlights of everything going on this week in DMV sports. Listen, I know we haven't said this in a long time, and I hope you haven't forgotten. Okay? Do you all remember something that we would always like to say on the show? Do y'all remember that? Because I feel like I haven't said it in a very long time. Listen, absolutely never is there a dull moment. Not at all. And this week is no different. So I see folks are already chiming in. So we got to already say what's up to the CWall team. We know Mazdak is on. Is everyone say hello to my mother? Say hey to Mama Waller. I see fans have already chimed in. I see Damon. I see Cameron Mingo. Listen, you all always want to make sure that you are getting your fellow DMV sports fans engaged and in the live discussion of the show, because there's always a lot to discuss. So make sure this is who you need to tap in. I'm going to tell you right now, because I'm going to tell you exactly what we're going to talk about this evening. The Caps are in the playoffs. Matter of fact, they're playing right now in game 2. So Caps fans, tag them in. Tag in your Georgetown Hoyas fans. Tag in Nats fans. We absolutely have to have a powwow, Nats fans. You know, when I get serious, that means it's probably not good. It's probably not good. Mystics season opener. We got that going on. And of course, we got to talk about the Commanders, because there's always something to talk about with the Commanders. So are you all ready? Is everybody ready to go? Now, as we're all getting ready and you're still sharing the show, and I'm seeing comments, but I haven't seen any of the love buttons tapped, so that I make sure I know that you're absolutely engaged in watching the show and sharing with your fellow DMV sports loving family and friends. So make sure you hit that love button. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and go through the list of all of the things that you can be doing to support CWall. Like, follow, subscribe to all of the pages. That means exactly where you are right now on Facebook, on the CWall Sports and Entertainment YouTube page, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to the website. Listen, you don't have to miss anything. I promise you, you do not have to miss not one thing at all. Invite your DMV sports loving family and friends. There is a way on Facebook where you can absolutely invite your whole friends list to like the page. Go ahead and invite them. We love to have them. Of course, the more the merrier all the time. Same thing with the website and other pages as well. Doing what you're doing right now, get your folks locked in on watching the Coaching from the Couch series. We know we're going to do this one live on Thursdays, and we're going to pick up the Coaching from the Couch Commanders update when training camp comes back around. You can always shop the CWall store. I saw your comment, Cameron Mingo. We're matching again today because Cameron made sure he has his CWall merchandise. So you want to make sure you have yours too. And you all have to remember, part of the CWall Sports and Entertainment 5th anniversary was the launch of the foundation. So you want to make sure you can still donate. And, of course, we'll be taking volunteers at some point soon, but I wanted to make sure all of that was out. So you guys had all the information. You got it. I see John Adams is locked in. Are you all ready? Are you ready? Because I think that was a lot to share already. And let's just go ahead and get going. As I already said, the Caps are in it. They are in it today against the Florida Panthers. Look, listen. On Monday, I was on CBS Sports Radio in Lynchburg, and they asked me a question about the Caps and if they could pull off the upset of the Florida Panthers. And I need you to drop in the chat if you believe that the Caps can pull off this upset. Can they, in fact, beat the Florida Panthers? Listen, here's what I said. I said, listen, we can always hope for the best. And you know that I always am. But if we're being really honest, I'm not sure they can pull this one off. And what happened the other day? What happened? The Caps came away, actually came from behind, and was able to win game 1 of the series. That was big. And it was an amazing win, by the way. I don't know if you've watched the game, but as soon as you're done with this, you might want to tune in, because let me just tell you, they were locked in. Now, here's some news that isn't the best. Tom Wilson isn't playing in game 2. Tom Wilson experienced an injury right after his first goal in game 1. So Tom Wilson is now listed as day-to-day. The Caps need everybody. And one of the things that I mentioned was simply this. Ovi is dealing with the injury. Now Tom Wilson dealing with the injury. They need to be at full force if they want to take this thing back to the Stanley Cup. But I must say, game 1 was on point. I was like, well, okay. Would you look at the Washington Capitals? So, always, as you all know, there's more to come, more to be seen. So, let's just keep our eyes on it. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hey, listen, I don't mind being wrong. I'm happy when I'm wrong. That's a good thing. So maybe I'll be wrong, and maybe the Caps can, in fact, pull off a round 1 victory against the Florida Panthers. Perhaps. Let's see how everything goes. And I see David Hood is checked in. If you've hit that love button, I need to know that you're watching so that I can make sure I shout you out. Any Georgetown Hoyas fans on? Are any Georgetown Hoyas fans on? Because absolutely want to just shout out the Georgetown Hoyas fans for a minute, because a few weeks ago, I was definitely on the show talking about all that was lost with the Hoyas. One of the worst seasons, if not the worst season that they've experienced. And absolutely, hey, look, lost quite a few, like 5 or 6 players to the transfer portal, but they're definitely on a come up. So hit a fire emoji or something if there's any Georgetown Hoyas fans locked in right now, because definitely want to connect with you all to see how you're feeling about the new players that are coming in. Listen, it's still so much that can be said about what more Patrick Ewing and staff can be doing. But I want to say this. I don't think they were, based on the moves that they've made, I don't think it was like all is lost. Not as far as they're concerned, it seems like. They're still trying to be very much competitive. And I think that's important for everybody to know and see. I can appreciate even the recruiting efforts that have gone into the players that are now with the Hoyas. So look, Let's just give them a chance. Maybe this past season, as difficult and hard to watch as it was, maybe, just maybe, that was what Patrick Ewing needed to say, hey, something's got to give, got to do better. Because it's not like they haven't gotten any bad players in. Yes, absolutely. Great players, a lot players with potential have left the program, but they got some good players in. So more to come. They're fielding them. They're bringing them in. They're working all of their angles. And we'll just see what happens next season. Hopefully it materializes into something of promise. But what I will say is I can commend the efforts that have happened thus far in trying to rebuild the program and get some really good coaches and players in there so that they can be competitive in the Big East. I want to make sure I acknowledge that I see what they're doing and they're doing well. I think they've got some solid pickups. And so had to mention that. We know that season is over, but since the recruits are coming in, figured I'd take a moment to mention that I'm liking the progress and what's being seen thus far. Nats fans, are there any Washington Nationals fans on? I need a love button or something. Say I'm here. Come on, Nats fans. So before we get into the what's going on around Nats Park, let's go here. Ryan Zimmerman weekend. Are you all locked in? Do you have this? The Washington Nationals are going to retire the number 11 jersey of Mr. National himself, Ryan Zimmerman. 17 years. 17 whole years. Ryan Zimmerman Day on Saturday, June 18th. There'll be pregame festivities, including the jersey retirement ceremony. That all starts at 3:15. The gates open at 2:30. The first 10,000 kids 12 and younger will receive a throwback Zimmerman 2006 jersey t-shirt. Okay, I think this is important. I'm going to keep this, and I know the picture's been up here for a minute, but I think it's important because 17 years is a very, very long time. Very long time. So that was the positive. This was absolutely the positive. Now, here goes the negative. The Washington Nationals are 9-18 right now. 9-18. Now, of course, we all know I'm always going to remind everyone of this because when it was the World Series year, of course, nobody knew they were going to win the World Series. Nobody predicted that. Not at this point in the season. But listen, while it is still early, this is clearly a bad. This is it's nothing is going well. Nothing. It's just all bad. And I'm going to go back to something that we discussed on the show and that has been reported on in recent weeks, and that is Nat's ownership, the Lerner family, actually kind of testing the waters, if you will, and trying to see, okay, do they need to sell? And what does that look like? And weighing their options from that perspective. Put that coupled with as bad as they look, it's just really tough to watch a Nats team that just a few years ago was just so dynamic, such a powerhouse, such a team to watch. And OMG, tag your Nats fellow fans in to say what on earth is going to happen with Juan Soto. Juan not sticking around for this. And I wouldn't, and hey, I don't blame him. Right? This is tough. And yes, it is still very, very early. But right now, it is apparent that it's just, hey, I see this point here, and I want to kind of, and this kind of sums it up from Nats fan Cameron Mingo. No hope for the Nats. Listen, still very early, but it does not look good at all. Not at all. So, of course, we'll always keep watching and keep tracking, but it's not pleasant to watch at all. In pleasant news, Mystics fans, you got to be on. We're right up on the season opener. Right up on it. It's here. The Washington Mystics season opener, May 6th at 7. Will you be in the building? Will you be there? I hope you are. Now, listen, I won't. I will not, but I'll be there throughout the season for sure. But listen, a lot to be excited about. This team is bringing the energy already. Take a look at opening night roster. If you paying attention here, they're making it very clear that this is the opening night roster. Things may change. So take a look at the roster. Drop in the chat what you are hoping to see from the Mystics this season. Anything, all I can say is this, and I'm going to keep saying this while you all are looking at the roster. I'm like, they have the right energy. I'm telling you, they've already experienced a devastating injury and loss in one of their rookies in Kristen Williams. And so hate to see that. But I'm going to tell you all, the energy is exactly what you want a team to be. I'm going to keep saying this because it is so important when teams get asked questions and players get asked questions about the identity and who they want to be and what their goals are for the year and what folks are supposed to be doing. And every single person on the Washington Mystics makes it abundantly clear. We're here to win a championship. Listen, I'm excited for the season. It's always exciting, of course, and I'm sure in communicating with colleagues across the industry, yes, every team is hype and everything, but you know, Coach Tebow and the leaders that are on this squad, they have a different set of energy. And when everybody is of the same mindset of we're here to win a championship, that's what people need. That's what, and it's not so much about what fans want to hear, because we know that's what fans want to hear and deserve to hear. But the players and the staff, the players need to hear the staff say it. The staff need to hear the players say it. They're all on the same page. It's been a rough couple of years for the Mystics since they won the championship, right? It's been rough. It hasn't been pleasant, you know, dealing with all the injuries. And of course, there's been players in and out and still trying to rebuild. But listen, championship bound, that's their answer. And that's what they're sticking to. And I'm excited to see their excitement, not just on the court during the game, but even that level of excitement during practice, in media scrums, all of those things. Is a big, big deal. And I'm going to keep talking about that because that is the message you always want to send. We're here to win a championship. Say it again. Come on, everybody. Put it in the chat. We're here to win a championship. That's it. That's all that needs to be the goal. Winning championships. Okay? That's what folks do. So, little bit of hype, but I actually think that this team is going to back it up. Hopefully, there's no season-ending injuries, and everyone can stay healthy, and then it's a good thing. Okay. Commanders fans. There has to be some Commanders fans on. There has to be some Commanders fans on live and taking part in the live discussion. Come through, Commanders fans. Listen. So listen, it's really not much to discuss right now. Just wrapping up the draft, right? And rookie minicamp is this weekend. So the rookies are in Ashburn. And hey, we'll just see what I don't really have when it comes to this part of it. And I'm going to go back to the list of drafts of people who drafted. And I'm going to ask you guys a really good question, because here's what you need to be paying attention to. And I told you all this prior to the draft. Pay attention to the rest of the teams in the division to see how they drafted. Because I haven't mentioned this on the show yet. Not on the Commander show, but I'm going to mention it right here. The Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, had a very strong draft. They had a strong draft. They drafted for need and also got pretty well-rated players. And you also saw the Eagles make a deal with the Tennessee Titans for probably who would be their number 2 player and their wide receiver, A.J. Brown. The Eagles had a good draft. I will tell anybody this. Yes, pay attention to the team that you watch and how their draft went and the moves that they made. But what about everybody else in the division? So I want to know your thoughts on what the rest of the division did, because that's what's key. That's what's key. Of course, all of it remains to be seen. That's for everybody, right? But pay attention to all of your opponents, each one. And we're going to take another look at just overall the list of the draft. And let's see here. This is the list again, okay? Everybody. We've already given out grades and all of that. And compare that to what the Eagles have done in the last couple of drafts, who's still on the team, and what they did this year. And as well as the Cowboys and, of course, the New York Giants. The Giants didn't draft so bad either. I think the Cowboys feel some needs as well. But the Eagles, they were the ones. I was like, okay. Somebody has been put on notice. They're tired of losing already. Because they were Super Bowl champs not too long ago. So I was impressed. I really was. And it takes, I'm gonna be honest, it takes a lot to impress me with the draft. Because you just never know what's going to happen. You never know. I mean, okay, fill needs here, fill needs there, but you never know which players are really going to show up. And this was just one of those drafts where it was like, okay, not really sure what's going to happen. So it takes a lot to impress me. And the Eagles impressed me. I'm just like, oh, okay. So we shall see what happens. Like I said, rookie minicamp is this weekend. I know there's opportunities for media to be on site. I believe it's Friday. Like I said, I will not be present. I'll be out of town. And everybody, shout out to everybody's mom and all the moms watching, especially my mama, Mama Waller. It's Mother's Day weekend. So I hope everybody will be enjoying that. So that's what I'll be doing. But everything remains to be seen. You know, the key is staying healthy. Just want everybody to stay healthy and get out there for training camp at the end of July. We know that these are all off-season trainings, right? So rookie mini camp, then OTAs, then there's a veteran camp and all of that. So still a bit of time before all teams report to training camp at the end of July. Now, let's also say there's still some time too for the teams to make moves. right? To sign free agents, to set some extensions and get some things going. So of course, during the offseason, there's still opportunities for the teams to get better. It's not just with the draft. It's not just during the start of NFL free agency. There's time all throughout the offseason, and we know sometimes even during the season for teams to get better. So at this point in time, my focus is everybody stay healthy. Just everybody stay healthy, and let's continue to see if the team makes any more moves. Let's continue to see if the team extends Terry McLaurin, right? Because that's a big deal. Now, next week, the NFL schedule comes out. Okay, fine. And we're going to go through the schedule. We'll probably wait a little bit. I know the schedule comes out at 8. I don't really know if we're going to wait and hold off on the show and wait till after the schedule comes out and do a whole thing on the schedule. Kind of depends on what's going on in the rest of the DMV with DMV Sports, because we want to make sure all of the highlights are being shared on this show. But we'll definitely talk through the opponents at the top. During the offseason, we'll talk through it, and then we'll talk about it again after training camp like we always do. Here's a reminder of the opponents coming up this year. Like you said, NFL schedule release officially next Thursday, May 12th at 8. But you all know how this thing goes. It's going to be leaks all over the place. All over the place. Everybody may have already pieced together the schedule before the actual release. Isn't that always something? It's leaks everywhere, all the time when it comes. Matter of fact, since the teams have already shared like the international games, I think it's already been determined. Okay, well, you won't be playing, who is it? San Francisco. You won't be playing them on November 21st or whatever that weekend may be. So, listen. My thought process is just relax during the off season. It'll be good. And they're all working out and they're getting better and doing what they need to do and focusing on what they need to be focusing on. But it's going to be very hard to rate any players until they really get involved in training camp. It's going to be really, 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 really difficult to have any opinion about any of the players really until you probably about that second or third week of training camp is when things really start to warm up for certain. So it all remains to be seen. Drop in the chat the rookies that you're excited about, because it was a quiet draft, maybe, right? But we all know that the staff is excited. So drop in the chat who you were really excited to see and know more about. And it's an opportunity to educate yourself on some of the players as well. Their backgrounds, likes, dislikes, things of that nature. But it'll be kind of quiet. It'll definitely be kind of quiet. And I see comments coming in. Sam Howell, coaches already said Sam Howell is QB3. His role is to learn. That is his role, is to learn. Yes, be ready if called upon. But it has been very abundantly clear. He's QB3. So hopefully he will still be learning and getting better and engaging as well, as he'll be looked upon at some point in the long-term future as one of the leaders of the team. So, you guys, we made it. We made it a whole nother week doing all of the highlights of DMV Sports. Listen, you guys, it's always a blast. I enjoy it. And I hope you all enjoy it as well. Look, let's see what happens with the Caps. Mystic season opener. Hopefully the Nets get better. It all remains to be seen. So you guys be safe. Okay, be blessed. And I will be seeing you guys again soon.
you're not on the field,
Yeah.
court or ice,
CWall.
you're on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall. Delivering coverage for all DC
Y'all
sports
already know what it
from
is.
the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man.